from the sixth district of Virginia. We don't even want to know what the sixth district is going to end up being. He might be in Fairfax County for all I know when this gerrymandering gets done. But joining us now by phone is Representative Ben Cline. Representative Cline, great to have you, sir.
Hey, always good to be with you, John. And I was listening to Aaron, and the Reset Act sounds like a great bill.
Yeah, it's basically she wants to change the age on social media access without parental consent from 13 to 16 with parental consent, and then 18 without it. But it's not getting traction, and it was kind of stunning to me. I expected, like, what parent wouldn't sign on to that? She's like, well, the Democrats won't sign it because, of LGBTQ and transgenders, and they don't want parents involved, etc. And then you got some libertarians say, well, it's a violation of free speech. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up, Ben. Anyway, Ben Cline with us.
It's who's gonna oversee your kids? Is it going to be the algorithm or is it going to be parents? And that's where parents come in. And as the parent of twin 14-year-olds, they're right in that age group that needs strong parental oversight.
Well, Ben, as always, you're the voice of reason. Ben Cline with us. This gerrymandering thing in Virginia is beyond the pale of insanity. If you look at the districts they drew up, the lies that they're running on television, and I heard that they'll spend up to $50 million to pass this thing. I mean, you got districts going from Fairfax County to Danville. I mean, nothing has anything in common with anything. This thing it's crazy. But you look at the polling, they've already spent, $15 million advertising, and they've not really moved the needle. I don't think it's going to get defeated in the courts. Tell us about this gerrymandering, and do we have any chance of defeating this on April 21? Ben Cline.
We absolutely do. Early voting started, so voters in Virginia need to get out and vote because the polling shows that among those who most strongly are involved in this fight, the ones opposed are outnumbering the ones supporting. The ones supporting are embarrassed. They know that this is the most extreme power grab by Democrats in years, that it's being done for no reason other than to try and grab 2 or 3 or 4 more House seats and tip the control of the House of Representatives over to the Democrats and Hakeem Jeffries. And, they can blame other states for doing something similar, but Virginians know that we put it in the Constitution 5 years ago. These other states don't treat the system as we have confidence that our system of nonpartisan redistricting is something that we've invested in to the point where we put it in the Constitution. We don't want to undo that and allow Democrats in Richmond to gerrymander to a 10-1 map where they control 91% of the House seats and leave us with one district for Republicans. That's just not the way that the system should be working. Right now, we've got 6 Democrats and 5 Republicans. That's a balance. That's about what Spamberger's margin was, about 6-5 margin. And so, we just need to fight hard and educate our colleagues, our friends and neighbors, and tell them that this is so important to get out and vote before April 21st or on April 21st.
I know that you've been just stellar in raising money for the effort to defeat this. You and Congressman Whitman have been the two that have really stepped up. I know you're working hard on it, but obviously without funding, we're not going to be able to do the things that we need in order to get the message out to people. And I've heard Saxman told me that he heard that Hakeem Jeffries was willing to spend over $50 million to get this thing over the top because it could mean his speakership. Tell us about what your vision is the campaign to run to defeat this.
Yeah, so I've realized that we need to make sure we go out there and do the work ourselves to raise the money, to pound the pavement, to knock the doors, to make the calls. So I've set up just an emergency 501c4 called StopTheGerrymander.com, and it's on Facebook at Stop the Gerrymander. So just get on there, and we are doing our best to educate our friends and neighbors. I'm going to be traveling around western all across Virginia to drum up support, but primarily recognizing that out here in Western Virginia, we're not that used to special elections. We're not that used to early voting, and that's where this is going to be won or lost. So we need to get out there and really educate our friends and neighbors, church goers, and our communities to make sure they get out and vote. You know, this money that's being thrown at this by the Democrats is designed to misinform. It's designed to mislead. They've got the billboards up in Page County. They showed a billboard that had Trump's face and a quote from Trump about making sure that we control our elections and then vote yes. So it was paid for by the Page Democrats. So that's the kind of misinformation that they're putting out there, trying to imply to a Republican-heavy county that Trump wants you to vote yes, when he doesn't. This is something that is going to result, if it passes, in a Democrat-controlled Congress that's going to target President Trump first and foremost, and target your gun rights, target your property rights, target your First Amendment free speech rights, whether it's online, on social media. We're going to bring back the big tech of the Biden days that targets conservative viewpoints. That's what we can't stand for. We can't let that happen. So we've got to vote no on April 21st.
Ben Cline with us. Ben, Representative, Congressman, 6th District, Virginia. That's going to get gerrymandered into oblivion if this obscene thing goes through. So I probably should do a bus tour, Ben, up and down 81. Would your team be able to help us coordinate it, where to go, where the stops are, how to get out to vote?
Yeah, we would love to work with you to make sure that bus tour is a success. I've got several of my colleagues up in Congress who would love to join on that bus tour because it's not far from D.C. We can get several of these members of Congress who recognize what's at stake here to join us on this bus tour and for a weekend or two. And I think that it would be a great opportunity to spread the word. Everybody loves you, John. They'd come out and see you in a heartbeat.
Well, we'll go for a week, but I got to say this to our listeners. I think Ben Cline and I are 10-0. No matter what we work on together, we always hit a home run. There's some kind of good dynamism going on, good juju, whatever it is. But I've never worked with you on anything that hasn't been a success. So based on that, this is something I have to do. We'll get together, Ben, and figure it out. I want to get
That'd be great.
I want to get to a very sad issue, very sad, Ben, for all of us. An illegal immigrant is accused of killing a woman in Fairfax County, Virginia, who had previous drug charges, illegal immigrant dropped, should have been deported out of the country, allegedly killed a woman in Fairfax. The DA there let him out. The guy's a Soros-funded whack job, blood on his hands. This is a terrible incident. Can you shed light here, Representative Cline, on what happened?
Yeah, it was a terrible tragedy in Virginia that this illegal immigrant, Abdul Jala, should have been behind bars, and he had been convicted more than 30 times, had 30 convictions, and these were not small convictions. These were robbery, rape, and other kinds of crimes that should have had him locked up for a long time. But he allegedly stabbed a local mom to death at a bus stop in Virginia, and it is a terrible tragedy, but we have a prosecutor up in Fairfax who is Soros-funded and has been letting this guy back on the street time and time again. And so we're very disappointed in this prosecutor. He needs to be held accountable. Governor Spanberger, for pulling us out of this 287G agreement with ICE, needs to be held accountable. This happened prior to that, but these are the results of these liberal prosecutors funded by Soros networks, and the tragedies that result in the victims that they create.
It's unbelievable. You got an illegal immigrant who shouldn't be here, who should have been deported in the first place, gets arrested on drug charges. Descano lets him out, and then he commits a murder. And you want to argue about ICE? Like, what is wrong with your colleagues here? Don't they get this?
I mean, let me read you these arrests that this guy was arrested for: rape, malicious wounding, assault, drug possession, identity theft, trespassing, larceny, firing a weapon, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, pickpocketing. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And this woman's life, Stephanie Minter, stabbed to death at a Virginia bus stop, and it's a life that should not have been taken.
You know, I don't know where this ends, and I really don't understand where your Democrat colleagues are going with this. I mean, I guess to them, what do they view this as? Just collateral damage for the greater communist uprising? I mean, what do they say when you talk to them about this?
I have never been able to understand this logic of soft on crime politics, and I sat on the Virginia Courts of Justice Committee for over a decade with great, strong, tough on crime members like Rob Bell and Todd Gilbert, and we fought back and defended mandatory minimum sentences for rape and for robbery and for murder. Mandatory minimums are important to making sure that you're held accountable when you have soft on crime, either prosecutors or judges who want to get around and let people back out and let offenders walk. And now there are bills to take away these mandatory minimums in Richmond right now that they're voting on to try and pass through this Democrat legislature. Democrat-controlled legislatures are creating disastrous policies, not just in Virginia but across the country. But we're really feeling it here in Virginia now that they've taken back control and they have Abigail Spanberger to sign these bills into law. We really have to fight hard to make sure that Washington stays in Republican control, because the last time we had this Democrat lineup in Richmond and Democrat lineup in Washington, it really did a disastrous number on Virginia's economy and on our national policies as well under Joe Biden and Ralph Norman.
It's just stunning what is going on, and the fact that your Democrat colleagues just don't see this or they don't care. I guess they just feel every time that an illegal is deported, they're losing a vote, I guess. I mean, I just can't figure this out, but we can never figure them out. Right now, we've got major problems without DHS getting funded, as you know. This goes through CISA, which everybody's there, they're not getting paid. It's going to hurt our cyber protection. We've got issues that have to do with funding our federal workers that get you through airport security. I just heard today that George Bush Intercontinental in Houston, Texas, is telling passengers to get there 5 hours early. I mean, who can get there 5 hours early for a flight? If your flight is 6 a.m., what are you supposed to do? Get there at midnight? I mean, it's insane. But look, it's not their fault, right? People aren't showing up for work. When the TSA agents who don't make that much money don't get paid, they have to get a second job. They have to drive Uber to feed their family. I mean, I understand that.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just reality, man. They're not making $300,000. They're getting paid. They're paid by the hour. They're trying to put their kids through school or whatever. They got to get a second job, so they can't show up for work all the time. And the Democrats just don't care.
They don't, and they've caused this shutdown by demanding unreasonable changes that would essentially limit ICE's ability to deport illegal aliens, and they are willing to shut down the Homeland Security Department and put at risk the safety and security, national security of our homeland. and it's destructive to the families of the people working involved. It's destructive to travelers, to the economy, people trying to travel through airports. It's destructive to all kinds of portions of our economy, and they don't care because ultimately they want to use it just as a political cudgel to beat Republicans over the head over ICE, and that's not working. So the American people see it for what it is, just like this gerrymandering scheme. It's a power grab, plain and simple. It's politics, plain and simple, and they're just desperate to win the midterms, and we've got to call them out on their destructive behavior and hold them accountable for it. Voters need to hold them accountable for it on April 21st by defeating the gerrymandering scheme, and then in the midterms by rejecting their power grab and keeping Republicans in control in Washington.
How do we win the midterms?
We got to point out all that's been done for the economy, for the border, all the things that President Trump has reversed with regard to the Green New scam, and I think that the more we remind voters about where things were under Biden, 10% inflation, the prices at the pump are up, but they're not up as high as they were under Biden. And this war in Iran is not going to, hopefully, extend months and months, and hopefully it will be resolved, and we can see those prices come back down again. But we have to remind people how bad it was under Biden and how Trump has improved prices on the shelves, prices at the pump, prices on goods and services around the country. And with that, I think people will feel better about moving forward, continuing to support Donald Trump and Republicans in power.
If this gerrymandering nonsense goes through, what is your district? Where does it go from?
Well, the Democrats, I was in the state legislature for over a decade, so I know a lot of the Democrats, and they have been, upset that I've been getting elected and reelected by 2-to-1 margins in a conservative part of Virginia. So they chopped my district into 5 different districts and parceled them out in small pieces to Democrat-heavy districts in Fairfax. So you have 5 different districts, really, coming out of Fairfax or Prince William County or liberal parts of Virginia and taking a finger into my district and taking parts of my old district. So it's not going to happen. The voters are furious out in the Shenandoah Valley and the Roanoke, Southwest Virginia. They are furious that Democrats are viewing their part of Virginia as little more than numbers to balance out a spreadsheet that gives Democrats control. They're ignoring rural communities of interest. They're ignoring farming priorities. They're ignoring agriculture and the importance of agriculture to the economy, because I tell you, these Fairfax congressmen don't give a hoot about farmers in the valley, and they care about solar farms. They don't care about corn or soybeans or cattle farms. So and that's the difference.
Well, I'm in. I've been reluctant to get involved in this because I really didn't see any way for us to defeat it. And you just don't want to, throw good time and effort and money after a sunk cause. But you had me at hello. I mean, this thing is so bad. And is that what they got you on, so you could recruit me to do a bus tour? Was that the real reason for this? Because
yeah, you got me. Me.
That's why.
John, that's
like,
my MO.
Yeah, that's why they got. They knew if you got you on that you would get me involved. They just know it. So look, you have me at hello. Anything I've ever been involved with you, anything has always been top draw. So if you think we can defeat it, that's good enough for me, Ben. That's good. That's good.
All right, let's get you on that bus.
Also got Ben Markey is back. He's resurfaced. He's calling me up every couple of days. He's resurfaced. So like you're putting your old team back together. So it's all good. But I want to thank you, Ben, for your time. Thank you for all you do, and hopefully we can get this thing defeated. Because if we don't, the chances of us keeping the House really go down dramatically. So let's see if we can't defeat this. I'll be in touch with you in your office a little bit later on. Ben, thank you. People want to follow you. Where do they go?
John, thanks. I'd go to stopthegerrymander.com to learn all about how we can stop this thing on April 21st, and then my regular site is cline.house.gov.
Stopthegerrymander.com. Stopthegerrymander.com. You want to go there and check that out. And Ben, my best to you, your family, your twins, and looks like we'll be talking again very, very soon, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Sheriff Clark next.